Hello, 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 and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jameelah, and I am a master manifester, and I'm sure you are too, because you're watching content like this. The name of this channel is Manifesting Magic the Practical Way, because there are a lot of practicalities to manifesting the lives that we choose, right? So this is the thing. I'm just like making sure my hair is flipped right and all that kind of stuff. What I'm discussing in this video is the problem with deriving your value from the outside in, right? So we all understand this concept. We understand the idea that we're supposed to feel a certain way about ourselves first, and then we will project that onto the world. And then the world will just be our mirror, which they are. And then we receive that treatment that we feel deep down inside, right? If I'm thinking about myself, I can rarely think of a time when I was feeling in my best and most highest and most beautiful and most amazing self. And I went into somebody's establishment or went into a place of business and everybody treated me poorly. Like, I can almost think that if that never happening, right? Because normally when I'm in that, I feel good about myself, bliss, and it's even higher than the level of contentment. It's up in the mode of happiness and joy and freedom, and like everything seems to be feeling good and clicking all at once. I don't even notice other people. Like, I know that they're there. I see them when I go in stores and places, but they make themselves noticeable to me first. Like, they come up, oh, I like your this, I like that, yo, how you doing? Having a good day, right? Whatever. And I used to always think, okay, well, it's because I was dressed so nice and because I look like this or that. And that'll only get you so far, like, looking good in an outfit or something like that. But when you have those moments to where, like, I could say just this morning, I had on a hoodie and joggers and some tennis shoes. Yeah. And a ponytail. And I was going and looking for some plant-based food. And I was like, let me do this in the morning because I don't really like grocery stores. So I went in there and I was walking around. Just about every single person in a grocery store that worked at the store said hi or said something to me. And one person was like, can you find everything okay? I said, I'm actually looking for your plant-based items. And he was just like, oh, follow me. And then brought me all the way across the store. And I find it very cool because I'm wearing my glasses. I got on this hoodie, and it's not about looking a certain way or being something. It's about the frequency that you're emitting, right? I get in these conversations a lot in the spaces that I do some work in, because a lot of times conversations about diversity or equity and inclusion come up, and it's nothing in particular, but I've noticed this over the years that they often share these experiences that kind of reflects more so about what they think of themselves as opposed to what the world is actually feeding them. And this is not to say that there aren't people that have prejudices and there aren't people that do stereotypical thing that, that have stereotypes and that push those values on the world sometimes. But more often than not, when you walk into environments, it is your frequency that people are picking up on way before they pick up on anything else, right? And if you feel that because of your appearance or because of your ethnicity or because of your race or because of your weight or your height or your whatever they can see, right? Because of those things, you're at a lower level in society. You're going to go out and give that lower level to everybody that you come in contact with. And that's just the fact of it. I don't care how ingrained those ideas are, because in certain countries, it's different things. In America, I can honestly say race and ethnicity gets talked about way too much, right? And then financial status right after that. And so in those spaces, you have to remind yourself that other people do not get to dictate who I believe I am. Other people do not get to tell me whether I am this level or that level or that level or that level. I decide that. And when I decide what my level is, the world is just going to give it back to me everywhere I go. And that's just a fact. I've lived it. I breathe it. I constantly, evolve into this space on a regular basis all the time. And I can clearly see the differences of when I'm a certain energy and attitude and another energy and attitude and what I get from the world, right? So we just have to keep in mind that our value and who we are should never be derived on the outside. And the big problem with that is because you're dealing with everybody else's, for lack of a better word, ignorance when it comes to value, right? They have these little hangups and ideas and attributes and attitudes, and this other person has them. So then you're dealing with 100 different attitudes and energies about your appearance and who you are and when you come into the place. When if you focus on frequency, that's just one big one. It trumps all the rest of that stuff, right? You get that frequency in the right place where it was no for the last person, it'll be yes for you. Where the door shut in front of the other person's face, that door will open up for you. Where there was scarcity in that environment for someone else, it'll be an abundant environment for you, right? So we just have to keep that in mind. We dictate our value at any given time. When we give that power away, we're giving it away to everybody else's egos. We're not even giving it away to anything real. Because if it was something real, your value would be up there with everybody else's, no matter about all the little things that are about you. The way you look, the way you dress, your size, your hair, all this kind of stuff, right? But because a lot of people are not operating in that sweet spot, we'll say it like that, we run into other people's ideas and attitudes, and they always believe that just because they don't care like you, or they don't like something you're doing, or they think of you a certain way, then everybody else should too, right? And so that's just not the case. When you decide that you want to be top tier, high level, treated a certain way, you'll start exuding that energy, and you do practices by creating that energy in your life, right? Meditation practices, affirmation practices, doing mirror work. That's a really big one, right? And just making sure that before you do anything important, before you step out the door, before you go and face the world, you've built yourself up to a nice high value that it doesn't matter who you come in contact with, they can't bother you. I do this to go drive because I drive a lot every day, right? Matter of fact, my sciatica is hurting right now because of sitting down prolonged, right? It's sitting most of the day. And so when I drive too much, sometimes I can feel it, and I try to move the seat in a different way when that nerve is starting to bother me. And when I go out into the world and I start going in traffic and being in places and doing these things, I notice that no matter what people do, if I'm in the right space, they don't bother me, right? They can cut me off. I don't want to hit anybody. So I'm hoping that when they cut me off, they at least leave a few feet for me to slam on my brakes, right? But they can cut me off. They can get in front of me, whatever they want to do, merge incorrectly, not let me in, all these little things. And none of it phases me. But I remember when I was feeling very negative about life in general, just trying to not feel that way, but trying to build myself up, but still finding myself in that place. Everything out there was against me. Everything I ran into was doing it to me. It's like, they just treat me like this. I'm going in the office. These people, they're like this. They're treating me like this. They feel like this about me. But when I took my attention off of all those outside factors and I decided, you know what, I'm going to give myself the day that I choose. That's when my value became more solidified on a regular basis, right? So even though now I have times where it dips, I know exactly what to do to get my value right back where it's supposed to be. The problem with letting other people do that on the outside is that they don't care as much as you. There's nobody in this world that's going to look out for you as much as you're going to look out for you. It's not even possible, because only you know who you truly are on the inside, and only you know what you truly need or want to experience in life on any given time, right? So I just want to put that out there. Be careful with walking around saying, people see me this way, or they treat me, or they do this, or they, because your value is solidified by you. It's not solidified by the outside in. It's solidified by the inside out, right? And this is no matter what circumstance. And a lot of people like to say, well, what if you're being oppressed? What if you're being abused? What if you're being treated or whatever like this in those ways? Raise your value, still your internal value, and watch how circumstances and situations change. Frequency is much more stronger than any human being, any individual's ego or poor perspective or prejudices or stereotypes they have going on. I can guarantee you, your frequency is almost everything. Right? If it's not everything, right? I'm not equipped to say that it's everything, but if frequency ranks very high, and you have to develop your value raising your frequency through meditation, through breath work, through doing mirror work, through reading the right material, through listening to the right audios, through affirmations, through gratitude practices. All these things says to other people, he cares about themselves, right? And so because they do, I'm going to treat them the way that they seem to treat themselves. Bottom line. I hope this helps somebody out there. And I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Create your own value, because other people do not have the ability to do that for you.